Well, I just watched IGN's first look at Star Wars Outlaws, and I've got a few thoughts.
For the first time ever, we're getting a fully open world Star Wars video game.
Bullshit.
August 30 is right around the corner. A short wait for many players for whom an open world game set in a galaxy far, far away has been a long-held dream.
Bullshit! I guess they weren't around in 2003 when the world received
Star Wars Galaxies. Experience the greatest Star Wars saga ever told. Yours.
Now this is a game that I feel like I never hear anything about. Where did it go? It completely vanished. It's like no one wants to admit that it existed. So I just wanted to spend a couple minutes letting you guys know about what Star Wars Galaxies has to offer. And I'm hoping by spreading awareness of this game, we might get a sequel 20 years later. Star Wars Galaxies is a massively multiplayer online gaming experience where you got to live out your life in the universe of Star Wars. So basically how this game worked is you were just a person in the universe of Star Wars. This game took place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So in that timeline, if you're familiar with Star Wars lore, which you probably are if you're watching this video, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate everyone's support from the last video. In this time, the Empire is basically in full swing, similar to Star Wars Outlaws. So they are a menacing force. And also in this period of time, this is after Order 66 and all the Jedi, for the most part, have been eliminated. So while it was possible to become a Jedi in this game, the developers, Sony Online Interactive, didn't tell us how to achieve that. You would just have to explore the universe, and eventually you'd have to do like a certain amount of tasks to become a Jedi. But yeah, basically when you would start the game, you would choose between a handful of different basic professions. These would range from being like a medic, brawler, marksman, scout, entertainer, and artisan.
Tell me when you were like a pig, you French pig!
While there were sub-advanced professions that you could master after your basic one, and those would range from bounty hunter, creature handler, ranger, doctor, and musician. And through these different professions, you could really just roleplay as someone who lives in this galaxy far, far away. And there was so much customization for a game of this age. When you created your character, you didn't only just choose your basic profession, but you would also select what race your character would be. It would range from human to Twi'lek, Zabrox, Wookiee, I know Wookiee, Trandoshanan, Trandoshanan, Rodin, Mon Calamari, Botharin, Solstin, and Ithorian. I usually just played as human because it's what I could pronounce, and I would be able to use most of the armor types. Because like if you're a Wookiee, you couldn't wear like Stormtrooper armor. This game, being 20 years old, has so many features that people in modern day games are begging for. Like, since the entire planet was available to you and it had a lot of open space, your character could actually create a home. You would buy like house templates and plop them down in the world map, and it would stay a permanent fixture in that server. So you could have, random people walk by and, see your house. Pretty cool. And then you could decorate that house, which was painstaking. I remember like moving it pixel by pixel by pixel to get the picture frame just right. And then you realize it's not flush with the wall. So you have to like inch it back. Game wasn't perfect. And some other features the game had was mounts. So mounts, you could get yourself all kinds of weird, fun aliens to ride on. You'd be able to buy speeder bikes, speeder cars. And then beyond that, there was an in-depth reputation that your character would amass over time while you took on certain objectives from either like the Rebel Alliance or the Empire. You could kind of side with them, which would open up different quest lines depending on what you chose and different outfits and apparel for your character to wear. And this game was also just so unique in its economy. The economy was basically completely player run. In most of these MMORPG type games, you know, you go to a vendor and you buy your weapons or your armor or your potions from just like static NPC character. What made this game unique was people's professions would lead them down routes where they were manufacturing blasters or rifles, axes, weapons, and there was an in-game market where they could sell you their wares. And you weren't purchasing these wares with real money. I mean, if you were, I didn't do that. You could just use the game credits. So everything you needed to buy, whether it be armor or weapons, it was usually created by another player. And then if you wanted to receive a health buff or buffs to your stats in general, you would find yourself at a cantina where there would be real people whose profession is musician, and they'd just be over there playing the jazz saxophone, and you're over there living it up, dancing, getting your stat bonus. And there would actually be people that would log on, pay a monthly subscription so that they could be a virtual musician in a virtual cantina. I don't understand people, but you know, people did it, so it worked. Would I do it? No, I want to have fun and shoot things when I play video games, but no, that's fine. That's fine. You do you.
It's good, man. It's like...
So this sounds like a recipe for a game that many people would consider their ultimate dream game. It's got Star Wars, it's got open world, it's got create your own adventure and choose your own path, it's got customization options out the wazoo, it's got, you can build your own house, you can have a house, you can buy starships and just cruise around in outer space. Like, my brother even owned a space yacht in the game, and while he's flying it through space, I am free to navigate the interior of that ship. And there are also huge windows on the side of the ship where you can see in real time the fights that are going on outside. So it's such a perfect game, but what happened? What went wrong? Why is this game essentially erased from the history books and gone? Let's discuss. During that time, there really wasn't too much competition for these MMORPGs. Like, you had Everlast Online and some other stuff, some other games that I didn't really play. But it wasn't until a year and a half after the game was released that it was going to receive its biggest competition. This little game called World of Warcraft released November 23rd of 2004, and it took the gaming world by storm. It was a pop culture hit.
World of Warcraft, I need to play!
And Sony Online Interactive felt that they had to respond to World of Warcraft to stay competitive, which turned out to really divide the fan base and destroy everything that made this game unique and fun. For starters, they changed the combat mechanic, which I was never a fan of it before or after. You just kind of lock on to a guy and press like 1, and then you could run around and your guy would like just keep shooting at him. I wasn't here for just the combat. I just like living in the Star Wars world. Another big change they made was they reworked classes and what your starting professions would look like over time to make it a little bit more streamlined and easy for new players. That meant all the progress they had made over the last 2 years was completely wiped, which, if you're paying a certain amount of money for a subscription to a game and the game just kind of wipes all of that away, why are you going to stick around? Like, that's a dick move, Sony. Bad Sony. Naughty Sony. And then one of the biggest changes they made that upset a lot of the player base was they took away the mysticism, the rarity of becoming a Jedi. Instead of going on this long journey to become a Jedi, it took 4 months from the game's release for someone to actually achieve the rank of Jedi. But now they changed it so literally when you're creating a character, you can just select Jedi and just start your journey off as a Jedi. And Of course, who doesn't want to be a Jedi in a Star Wars? But that took away the uniqueness and the status of being a Jedi. And also in this time frame between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, it doesn't really make sense that there's like hundreds of Jedis just running around. Like they're supposed to be hermits who, you know, are hiding away, and yet you just have them jumping around everywhere, you know, getting into Jedi mischief. So after these updates, the game saw its first departure of many players. A lot of people just unsubscribed, forget it, I don't want it, get out of here. And then slowly over the years, the game just continued to lose and bleed players. You know, the work that they did to make the game more streamlined for new players just didn't have the same staying power as that initial community of people who fell in love with this game. In response to this declining player base, SOE decided to start shutting down servers in early 2010. And then by June of 2011, due to a data breach, the servers were shut down forever. Kinda. There are still player-run servers that exist somewhere on the internet. So if you want to try this gem of a game, it's still available, but just not in its original form with the same amount of people. So that's the story of Star Wars Galaxies, the first open world Star Wars game in existence. If I could have one wish, it'd be that I was older in 2003 when this game came out, because I would love to jump back into that galaxy far, far away. And it just blows my mind that we haven't seen a game even remotely close to this since. What are your thoughts on Star Wars Galaxies? Did you get to try it? Were you old enough? Were you even born when that game came out? Also, will you be jumping into Star Wars Outlaws day one? Or are you going to be like me and wait for that motherfucker to get on sale? Let me know in the comments down below. And I just want to thank you all again. I got like a massive surge of subscribers my last video. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We're almost at 3 digits here, guys. We're almost there. Let's go. A couple more. Be within the under 100 club. Or slightly over 100 club. That's still a cool club to be in. And
Don't stop and look stupid like some thick cow.
okay, I'm just going to say one more thing here and then I'm going to shut it down.
Let's go.
Are you going to do this every video?
Yeah, now you're just acting like a fucking idiot, yes?
Okay.
Fuck off you fat useless sack of fucking Yankee danky doodle shite. Fuck off.
There's just nothing
Shut
coming
it down.
together.
I'm going to shut it down. Thank you.
Five, four,